I've been overweight with man boobs ever since I was 11. The happiest day of my life was when I found out that it wasn't my fault. I'm going to tell you my story because I'll bet you can relate to it. It doesn't matter how young or old you are or how big or small your man boobs are. Anyone who struggles with any form of man boobs will know what I'm talking about. And I will do more than just tell you my story. If you watch this video to the end, it won't be online for long. I will give you the solution I discovered to get rid of my man boobs and keep them off for good. Remember though, this video won't be up for long, so watch it now while you can. If you're like most guys, you've probably been racking your brains over this for years, or decades like me. Why do you not have a flat, masculine chest, even though it's your birthright as a man? I remember the first time I had to take my shirt off in public. I was in the 7th grade. We were in the locker room after football practice. Everyone had taken off their shirts before they'd entered the locker room. Everyone except me. Man boobs were rare back in the day, and I was the only one who had them. All the other guys had perfectly flat chests. Heck, even the fat guys had flat chests. Unfortunately, the guys had already seen my man boobs bouncing up and down on the field. It wasn't long before one of the guys, Pete, whose name I'll never forget, came up to me and started teasing me about my bitch tits. And soon enough, I was the laughingstock of the locker room. The kids at my school never took me seriously again. That day, I wanted to go home and do 1,000 push-ups. And you know what? I did, and I was so sore the next day that I couldn't go to school. But the real truth was that I was too embarrassed. For the next 30 years, I lived a life of misery. Maybe some of the following points sound familiar to you. I spent my summers indoors, so nobody would have to see me in a t-shirt. I avoided going to the beach while everyone else was out there having the time of their lives. I hardly ever went out because I lacked self-esteem. I was rejected time and time again by girls because they just didn't see me that way. They couldn't picture being with a guy with man boobs. And who could blame them? Thankfully, I'm not a guy who quits easy. For almost 30 years, I tried everything under the sun. I tried every different type of exercise you can think of. Weight training, powerlifting, cardio, Pilates, boxing, kickboxing, yoga. Do you want me to go on? I also tried every diet that was out there. In those years of mastering the art of diet and exercise, I mastered the art of losing weight. But the trouble was that when I lost weight, my man boobs were still there. So I decided to try taking pills and supplements. Being as crazy as I am, I tried every pill that offered any theoretical possibility of getting rid of man boobs. Even some that weren't strictly legal. I actually tried so many pills that I started to suffer from heart problems in my late 20s. Eventually, at 35, I managed to save up enough money for surgery. And you know what? The results weren't that great. My man boobs were a little smaller, but they were still there. My doctor told me it was post-surgical swelling. He told me it would go away in a few weeks, and yeah, you guessed it, it never did. 5 years after my surgery, I still had man boobs. On my 40th birthday, I decided to throw in the towel. I decided to give up. And you know what? That was the best thing I ever did. Now at 41, I'm a different person. I sport a trim, firm chest and a great set of abs as a bonus. I no longer have puffy nipples, and I am eager to take my shirt off in the sun, at the beach, or at the pool. So what happened after my 40th birthday? Well, I'll tell you what happened after I tell you what I did. I embraced the truth, the one truth that nobody will tell you about getting rid of man boobs. It'll blow your mind. The best exercise for losing man boobs is no chest exercise. Now, this may come as a surprise to you. There is a time and place for chest exercises done correctly, of course. But I saw my chest flatten out long before I did a single push-up or bench press, before I ever even thought about working my chest. Here's why this is the truth. If you focus too much on directly training your chest, you're just going to build the muscles underneath your man boobs. Now, that's great if you want